Trigger warning.
This episode discusses abortion and related topics. Listener discretion is advised. If this topic is distressing or triggering for you, we advise to skip it and listen to the next one. Thank you. Oh, welcome back, guys, to Two Cents. I'm Lima.
I'm Alex.
And we are your hosts for this podcast.
Yeah.
Hi guys, how are you guys doing? How are you doing, Alex?
I'm pretty good. It was a good day. I woke up pretty late, but I had some time to get dressed and all that.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, today we are obviously hanging. We're hanging and chillaxing. And I picked him up so he wouldn't have to wake up early to drive his dad to work.
Yeah, at like 6.
Yeah, every day, guys, he has to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so today is our break day. Well, for me, because I don't have work. So we get to hang out, which is soups fun, obvi.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's not really much updates. Like, we're still on reading break, which is great.
So I have to finish assignments and homework.
Yep, so many assignments. Yeah, does anyone else's university make everything due after reading break?
Yeah, I literally have a midterm when I come back.
Yeah, and I'm like, we literally just started. I don't know how everyone's already having so much tests. It's crazy. That's kind of pretty much it. Nothing's really going on.
Mm-hmm.
We are like slowly updating stuff for the podcast, which is really fun. And we're starting to get to the cover art together and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting more high-tech, techie stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we as in Alex.
Yeah.
And he's just telling me to buy it. But yeah. I think that's, I don't know, is there any other updates you want to say?
Not really.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I guess we'll dive right in, as they say.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I might say a lot of white lingo and analogies on here. But yeah, so for today's podcast, we're going to be talking about kids, children, and parenting.
Nice.
Yeah. So like, I guess family, but we're mostly going to be talking about like parents and just kids and just having kids and parenting and all that fun stuff.
Nice.
But yeah, so I guess we'll just kind of dive in. I think we have like a few points down here, so we're just going to be going through them. We're going to be going through each of like
all right,
the different categories of it. So yeah, I guess, I don't think we have to start with each one. We could just kind of talk about both.
Sure.
I guess. But yeah, I guess first thing we can say is, do you want kids? I
do want kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, for me, I think I do too. I've just been like going through like a lot of like, do I want it? Do I not? Like, I think I ultimately do want, but I think I'm just scared of everything that comes with that, you know? Because it's a lot on the person who conceives the child, you know?
Because for me, it'd be easy.
Yeah. The man or the person with the sperm just has to put it in. They just have to provide the sperm and your work is done.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Well, obviously they have to take care after, but
also like we have to do the movement and all that to come to that point.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, so it's a lot of work for us.
Yeah,
guys.
it's so much hard work. It's so sad for you guys. But yeah, obviously it's really hard.
Yeah.
Like just the whole thing is just like parenting and having children. Literally, I feel like every aspect of it is like really difficult. And anyone who goes through it is like, wow, I give you like major props. Especially for Gen Z. You know how they've been saying like the new generations are like wanting kids less and less?
I think so. Before we go on, how many kids would you like?
Oh yeah, we forgot to say that. I don't know. I've always said I've only wanted like one, but then I don't want them to be like alone and I don't want them to become too spoiled or bratty or have the only child syndrome.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, I guess 2 would be good.
Yeah.
Because then they could like have each other and all that. What about you?
2 or 3.
Yeah. 3 would be fun too, because I've like, I don't know, it's weird. Like I want a small family, but I also want a big family. So that's why I'm like, throughout the years, I could never like decide what I just like really want. That's why I'm like, sometimes I don't want children, sometimes I do.
Well, that's why some people have them like a year apart.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, that's true. That makes sense. They probably like, oh shit, now I want another one.
Yeah.
Or now they're like, oh, can we stop? But yeah, oh yeah, I guess we should say
boy or girl.
Well, I don't know. I kind of want both because
Really?
both are very different, you know? And I mean, obviously, like, depends also on when they grow up, who they like become. Like, who knows what they want to identify as. I mean, I don't know, because both of them are so different. Like girls or just anyone who's like feminine, I just be so fun to do all that like girly feminine stuff with them. But then boys, I would want to like raise them right, you know?
Yeah.
Because like I just want to teach them all the right things and just how to treat people good and just basically not become horrible.
So 1 boy and 2 girls.
Well, I don't know exactly. What do you want?
1 boy and 2 girls.
Oh, why?
I don't know. I just like girls more because you get to do that stuff where you said like all the nice and princessy stuff.
Yeah.
And be all cutesy with them. And then boys, you know, all the guys stuff. Hey, you want to play ball?
Yeah.
No, just kidding. Not like that. But, you know, like what you said, like teach them how to treat women right.
Yeah. That's true, basically. I think you'll be a great like father of like daughters and stuff. Yeah, and like sons too, because I feel like you'd actually treat them good and like teach them the right things. But yeah, I don't know.
They would get a beating if you don't do the right thing.
They would?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, that's another topic too. What was I saying before we switched to the?
It was hard to like for the women to get.
Oh yeah, but I don't know. I've just always gone through like each like year. I'm like, I don't really know. And I don't know if you guys seen this, but there's this person on TikTok, and it's like she's known as the girl with the list. I don't know if you've heard about this, but she basically keeps like a long ass list, probably on her like notes on her phone, of like every reason not to have kids. And it's like every time she like hears about something, she like writes it down. And it's like actually crazy. I haven't tried finding it, but like I've seen like clips, and some of it is like, your hair falls out, your teeth falls out, you go blind, you like, it's like crazy stuff, and it's really scary. And obviously, like, I know that's not like would happen to everyone.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's just some rare cases, or obviously depends on like your body and health and all that. But it's still like really scary. Like put me off. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, yeah, I'm good, guys.
Yeah.
Because I don't want all that happening to me.
Well, do you know if it's facts or do you think it's just like memes? Because I know there's this other list of like some person that says how to get girls. And then there's like, he looks at a video of a guy interviewing a girl like, what's your pet peeve of girls? Oh, when they breathe. And the guy goes on his list and then adds it. Do not breathe.
Oh my God.
So, like,
actually, yeah, that's true. I mean, it is TikTok, so who knows? People can just be exaggerating.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have heard of like some things, like sometimes like bad things does happen to like the like mother, I guess. But like, I guess that just depends. And obviously there will be like some issues, especially based on your like health conditions. But I don't know, that list is just like really popular on TikTok because again, like our generation just does not want to have kids. And everyone says it's like our generation is going to like decline it because like nobody wants to have kids these days.
Yeah.
So that's like, I don't know. I think that just like plays into it. But I don't know. I mean, obviously you just have to
also like
try it out.
Hookup culture.
What do you
like
mean
affects,
by that though?
It affects like what people want. Like for example, like,
oh yeah.
Oh, I don't want kids. I just want to do it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually so true because I feel like everyone these days is becoming so like emotionless and committal and like not attached. So they're just like, they just want quick, like meaningless stuff.
Yeah, like flings.
Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah, the flings. Yeah, because I feel like people just have like issues they haven't like dealt with. And a lot of people are afraid of commitment. Like so much people are like have commitment issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually true. And I feel like a lot of people too, they're like just realizing all the like problems and how like expensive kids are too.
Yeah.
Like nobody talks about that. It's actually so expensive, like just raising a child, and like you have to like pay for so much things for it and like save up too for their like college or whatever. I'm like, damn, like you actually gotta be like
yeah, you have to be prepared.
Yeah, like you really need to be prepared. I feel like so much people don't understand that, which really makes me like annoyed because I'm like, you really have to. And I don't know, another like reason for me that I've always like dealt with, like, I think I do want kids, but I think it's just the process is what I don't want. It's not like wanting kids or not. Because I do really want kids. Like it'd be so fun to just like raise like a small human being. Like, that's so cool. And it's like you influence so much of their life. So they're basically like a mini you.
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool. And I would want to do it like right. Especially because like I feel like as I'm growing up, I'm noticing like from my own parents and everyone else and just like on the internet, just from everything around me, like I'm like taking into account what's right and wrong and like raising kids. And I'm seeing how different kids are raised and how they treat people and how they act.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've started to know like what's right and wrong. And I really want to do it like the right way. So that's also another reason I want to have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, because don't you like you can tell sometimes how someone's raised. Like people even say like, oh, like they were clearly not raised well.
Yeah.
Like I would never want someone to say that about my future child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I feel like that's also such a like it's so embarrassing for the parent. It's like you literally failed at your one job.
I know.
But I know it's way harder than that. But like, you know.
Yeah. Just like that truck driver this morning.
Yeah.
Like he was raised bad.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, people are just so rude and just like they just don't treat people good. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Your parents just fucked up somehow. But yeah, again, like I was saying, I think I ultimately do want kids. I just don't want to go through the process. And what I mean by that is like the pregnancy process and giving birth. And that's very like rational, I think. I mean, obviously, people who don't have uteruses, they can't relate to that. And obviously they don't know. But like people with uteruses, they would know. Like it's so hard and like scary and just like,
and
I
you
don't
have to
know.
like, you know, eat healthy because whatever you eat, the baby eats and stuff like that.
No, it's literally so scary because like you have to prepare so much things. Like you see the amount of books you have to read, like parenting and mom books. And like you have to be careful. Yeah, like literally everything you consume and breathe and like everything you do basically, because it's literally going to affect your child.
Yeah.
And that's so much like responsibility and like pressure on someone. I'm like, I already don't do well with pressure.
Well, that's why you'd have to be prepared. Like, let's say me and you, like in far future, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can be working, have enough for you to be like off work and just take care of yourself every day.
Yeah.
Instead of like having to work, like pregnant and then having to do the stress of eating, like that would be all taken care of.
Yeah, because all that stress would go on like the baby. Yeah, that's so real. Like that literally everything goes back to you literally just have to be prepared to be a parent. Because it's literally like a job. Like what? Would you just go into a job not being prepared and just doing whatever? Like obviously you're going to fail and like they're going to fire you.
Yeah.
Like parenting is literally the same thing. You actually have to be ready for it. Because it's not like some simple like one-time thing. Like it's literally like a forever job if you think about it. But yeah, I don't know. I just really don't want to go through like the whole pregnancy because it's so like hard on your body too. Like you're literally carrying a human being, all the things it does to your body. You have to be so careful of everything.
Yeah.
And like you're always in pain and uncomfortable and your back hurts and you can't sleep good. And then obviously giving birth, that's so terrifying.
I don't know
like
how some parents or mothers, I mean, they like work out while being pregnant.
Yeah, which obviously is like really good, but I'm like, how do you do that? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, people like mothers are superheroes. Like, honestly, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what like scares me also. And especially like a natural birth, like pushing.
Or
and obviously everybody. The what?
Or C-section.
Yeah, and obviously everyone sees it in every like movie and show. They show you how like hard it is and all the screaming and the pain. I'm like, honestly, I truly don't think I could do it. Like push out something from your hoo-ha.
Yeah, no, that's like how small it is compared to like a baby's head.
Yeah, and I know like obviously scientifically, like I know it can stretch and all that, but like the pain. And also like I know a C-section is a bit better because you're like under the anesthesia or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But it's like, for me, it's like you just have to live with that scar. And I know some people might just not care because like, you know, scars make you who you are, blah, blah, blah. Like obviously it is like a thing on your body, but like
in both the ways, there's like risks as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, both of them have pros and cons.
Yeah.
But yeah, also I actually learned this because I was like talking to my mom about this, how I was telling her like, because you know, parents are always like, when are you gonna have kids?
Just say tomorrow. So it'll be like,
Yeah, totally. But yeah, I was talking with my mom about this and she actually told me like, oh, it actually depends on like your like medical condition also of like what you're gonna like get.
Yeah.
So sometimes you like actually can't have a natural birth and you actually have to like do a C-section or something. And sorry guys, I don't know if these are the correct terms for them. We don't know the scientific medical ones.
I think it is that.
It is, but like I think there's other words for them, like actual medical terms. Obviously, we're not gonna know those. But yeah, which like, okay, I don't want to get too deep on this, but like I have like this medical condition thing that, okay, it's not like a medical condition. I just have like a problem with my heart. And my mom said that I might actually not have to do a natural birth.
Yeah.
Because it might be like too much on my body, which I'm like, oh, thank God on that. Yeah. So now I'm like, I hope I can do like a C-section or like other options they have.
Yeah. I think there's only 2.
I think so. I don't know. But yeah, I'm like, that like reassured me a lot because I'm like, oh, I didn't know. I thought you just like had to like go with the natural one or like if there was like a problem in it or something.
Well, for my mom, she got a C-section for me.
Yeah.
Because I was just too big.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so funny. She's like, I can't do this. He's too big. Get him out. What about for your other siblings?
They were normal.
Oh, so you're the C-section baby, as they say. Yeah, I'm a C-section baby too.
Yeah.
And I know they say that if the mother had like a C-section, she has to for the next child.
Oh.
Yeah, you can't have like, so basically if you do the C-section, like that's the only thing. Because it probably could rip or something, cause like more like problems if they do like a natural, because from all the pushing. So yeah, my sister had to be a C-section baby because obviously I'm older than her.
Yeah.
So yeah, we love all the C-section babies out there. Yeah. But yeah, and the natural ones too, I guess. Yeah. Just kidding, guys. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, like I said, there's risk on both.
Yeah, that's true.
I learned it in women's health.
Wow, he took women's health, everyone. Get you a man who takes women's health. Yep. Woo! We need Sam's button.
Easy GPA booster. I mean, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, you took it in uni?
Yeah.
That's a class?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that.
It was like women's health #1.
But why did you take that? Why didn't you take men's health?
I don't know, because it was like the only one available to take. So I'm like, I'll just take this. Like, I don't really care.
Oh, base. You just took whatever was there because it was like, oh. I mean, I feel like those classes are always like GPA boosters, which is nice.
No, but you need a requirement. Like,
you did?
Yeah, she was like, if you're in this class and you didn't take this class, you're not going to do well. You have to take the other class first.
Oh, because you probably had to take some like health or science class before. So did you do well?
I did well anyways, yeah.
Oh, well, I feel like they always say that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's funny, guys. But still, we need more men taking women's health. Because honestly, men need to learn more about women's bodies. Yeah. Okay, but that's a whole nother.
No, we literally see videos of it, like of both.
Oh, like and they do that a lot in high school and middle school when they would show us those traumatic giving birth videos and like the like science or health class or sex ed or whatever.
Yeah.
They showed you in uni too?
Oh, in university, yeah. But not in like, I don't remember in high school or middle school.
But yeah, I know that's like a common like joke amongst just like kids, I guess, too. It's always those traumatic, and they show such like detail, and I'm like, okay, we don't need to learn that. Like we don't.
No, but there's like there's so many other types of giving birth like naturally. Mm-hmm. You can do it like underwater.
Oh yeah, the bathtub. I never understood why they did it like that.
I don't know. I think it's like more natural. So like,
and is it maybe because it helps the baby or something, or like
it makes them like, since they're in water or something like that, it makes them feel comfortable when they come out.
Maybe makes it like open.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are like home births.
Yeah.
Those ones you can literally have like a midwife. They can come in and like do it for you. But I think that's how they used to do it in back then, like in old ages.
But talking about the old days, it was horrible. Like how they tested for like medicine and all that.
Oh.
Because they would literally experiment on women, like using a new drug.
They did?
Yeah, for like years. And that drug would actually like make the babies come out like not good.
What the fuck?
There'd be like, like missing an arm.
Yeah.
Missing an eye.
Like having That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, are we surprised? It's literally in the past. Yeah. Everything, I feel like literally more than like 90% of the things they did back then was so like fucked up and unethical.
Yeah. They would like literally steal like women and just test it on them and stuff like that.
What the fuck? I really hope that's not happening anymore.
No, probably not. Well, there is. That's another topic.
Well, I know sometimes people can volunteer to be like like trial for something. But yeah.
Back in the day, they just snatch you up.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So moving on a little bit, we're going kind of from more of like, this is the trigger warning section. We're going to be kind of talking about a little bit about abortion.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we actually also wanted to mention something that we've experienced.
Yeah. Oh,
do you want to
before
explain?
we start, don't get offended if you do.
Oh yeah.
Everyone has their own opinions.
Yes, please. Yeah. We probably should say that. Yeah. So obviously everyone has a lot of opinions on this. Everyone has their own opinion inside and whatever. But yeah, this is our own opinions.
Yeah. Whatever you believe in, it's okay.
Yeah, like as long as you don't try to force it onto people and make them change their opinions.
Yeah.
Just, keep it to yourself, keep it all nice. And we're just basically discussing it and we're just going to say our own point of views and opinions about it. And obviously, I should also say from the get-go, anyone who does not have a uterus should not have an opinion. Like they say, no uterus, no opinion. But obviously, we'll let you, just an exception, just because we're like discussing it for now.
Sure.
But so do you want to explain?
Yeah, so like...
So this happens at our school.
Yeah, it happens in our school. Like we're just walking, chilling,
and
having
what
a talk.
This actually happens in other universities. I bet it is. Maybe, yeah. And I think this happens because it's a place where like a lot of people are at, and it's because it's like young people.
Yeah.
So they're like impressionable or whatever.
Yeah. So we're like just chilling and walking, and then these people have like, they had like pictures of gruesome images.
Yeah. It's like these anti-abortion like protesters.
Yeah.
And they're like, they put on like the most like explicit like pictures.
Yeah.
And it's actually
literally,
so like
gore.
It's what?
Gore.
Yeah, like it's actually so like triggering. Like, and like honestly, I don't know how the school freaking allows them on.
Yeah, I know.
Because isn't the school private property?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't understand how they allow them on. Like
It's probably students.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe they're former students too. But honestly, they should be like banned because like we're literally walking down like the main hallway or like outside, and they're just like holding up these images and like shouting things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's literally like midday. We're trying to get to our class. Like, you can't just be doing this. And like, this can be so triggering for people if they've actually like gone through it.
And also like some people are eating their lunch. They don't want to see that.
Yeah. And like, it's just so disturbing. I'm like, you can't just do that. Like, okay, I understand they have a very specific opinion, but like leave it to somewhere else. Like discuss it in a place where you should be, not in a freaking university where people are just trying to get to their classroom.
Yeah.
Like it's just so horrible. Like I don't know. The school honestly should do something about it. Like we need to start like a petition or something. But yeah, we get those like every like few months, every year. So we love that. But yeah, so that was kind of just a little thing we wanted to touch on.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll come back to that. So yeah, the thing I hate about like being, because obviously parenting is a full-time job, but I hate when people are like, if a parent decides to be a stay-at-home mom or dad, you know how people are always like, oh, that's not a real job. Like it's so easy. You literally just stay at home and take care of someone. Like, or if it's like the mom especially, and they're always like, oh, the man's providing for you and they're doing all the work. And I'm like, they literally don't realize how hard it is. You're literally taking care of like a small child who like barely has an IQ, so they can't function for themselves. You literally have to do everything for them, and it's like all day. It's not like you can get like a lunch break or like a sick day. Like,
do babies even think?
Yeah, like
the most earliest memory I have is probably like when I was like 5.
Yeah, literally. Like, yeah, if you think about it, it's literally like, it's just a person that literally can't do anything by themselves. Like, you literally need to make them do everything. Like, you have to help them. Yeah. It's just, I hate people who are like that. They're so like closed-minded because it's like, okay, you know what? Why don't you try it? And it's like, when men try it for one day, they're like exhausted. And I'm like, yeah. And you know, that's another thing from that is when they're like, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh, that double standard thing where it's like, oh, when the mother is like, takes a day off for herself, oh, she's like a neglectful mother. She's horrible. And then the dad comes to visit like or takes care of the kid like once a week, or the dad like takes them out for ice cream, like gives them a hug. They're like, wow, what a supportive parent. He does so much. I'm like, the double standard for that's like, it just makes me so mad because I'm like, they literally don't understand how hard of a job it is. And like the person who's actually stay at home, they do so much. Like obviously the person with a job, that's hard too. But like it's different and they both have their pros and cons.
Well,
like,
here's the thing. The person doing the job, if they actually did what they love doing, they shouldn't be
complaining that they're like, I'm doing all the work and I'm providing.
They should like doing what they're doing.
Yeah. They should be like, oh, I love doing this and providing for my family or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, honestly, I think whoever stays at home, like as an actual, like permanently, I think they honestly should get paid by the government. Because honestly is a job. Like it's literally so hard. Like I feel like anyone who has had a pet, like even pets are sometimes kind of hard to take care of because you always have to be taking care of them. Like you can't just let them be. They'll literally die like the next day.
Yeah.
And the pet is just like a small fraction of what a child is. Because a child is literally a human being. Like you don't know what they could do.
Yeah.
It just like pisses me off because like people who stay at home need to get so much more credit. Because they're literally, and they have no time for themselves. They're dealing with all this pressure. And it's like, it just annoys me. And I was also going to say about the, God, my train of thought keeps leaving. Oh, what was I going to say? When we were saying about I hate that also like in Western culture, you know how it's always like the dad provides and the mom stays at home? I hate that too because actually I learned in a lot of cultures from listening to other podcasts that it's actually reversed. Sometimes the dad is the stay-at-home parent and the mom like actually provides. And I hate that it's like, it's always seen like it's frowned upon. It's like, oh, they have to provide for you. It's like, and it's like, I know that's just comes from like, it's just society and like the patriarchy because men are always seen as the providers and like the protectors or whatever. And the women are always like the ones who need help and stuff. But I hate that because it's like you can literally, first of all, provide for yourself.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a bad thing. You're literally helping your own family.
Yeah.
And literally anybody can do that. Like sometimes the kid has to provide for their parents, like obviously when they get to the age. So it just pisses me off how people have such a double standard for everything. It's like,
and also like, who cares if the guy has to provide to the woman? It's like your family. It's like,
like wouldn't you want them to care? Or would you want them to be like neglectful and just like make their own money and just spend it for themselves? Like and that's also, like, so much worse.
Even if you're a stay-at-home mom, you can always have like an online business.
Yeah, that's actually, I feel like it's becoming so much more because of like everything's moving digital. Yeah, a lot of people literally have jobs literally just online. Like they don't even have to go anywhere, which is so nice.
Also like with like the man, they can also work at home.
Yeah, and they can also help the mom. They can take shifts. They can take turns.
Yeah.
Like you can literally still do what you love and like take care of the child. And I just hate society and the patriarchy. They always have to make everything seem so bad. Like it's like literally does it. Like you're really just helping your family. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like you even see like so much children or like kids when they grow up and if like they become famous or have a lot of money, they always like give back to their parents because they want to help them because like they provided for them their whole life. So we need to work on the double standards. But yeah, that just really annoys me. So now I'm going to be moving on to something that I'm extremely passionate about, so I might get a little heated, so excuse that. But yeah, I'll say my point and then you can add your comment, babes. Yeah, so something I'm really passionate about, and this does not come from my own experience because, so my parents were always great, and I'm not boasting or bragging, like I'm not saying this is from my own experience, that's why I'm like mad about it. Like this makes me pissed because seeing other people go through it, especially like people I care about or just like anyone, it just really makes me mad. So my whole thing I believe in is I don't think not everyone deserves to be parents. And I know that seems kind of harsh because it's like, oh, but like, yes, they do if they want kids. But no, they don't. Because a lot of people, they're not prepared, like we've been saying this whole time, right? Like you literally just need to be prepared. And like a lot of them are not prepared financially, emotionally, they're not like physically. And you literally have to do all that. Like I feel like there has to be like a checklist that the government should give everyone before they become parents. Because it's honestly, like, it's not just like an easy thing you can do. Because we're all humans and we all have a lot of baggage. We have trauma and issues and problems passed on down from our parents. And like when someone wants to become a parent, they have all of that with them. And if they're not ready, if they're not financially or emotionally, especially emotionally or like just physically ready or stable, they're literally gonna pass on all that to the kid. And it doesn't even have to be that. Even if you are all those stuff ready, literally like normal parents, I guess, who are like financially and emotionally, well, not emotionally, sorry, financially and like physically ready, like they have enough money, they have a house, blah, blah, blah. Even them, they still pass on the trauma, which is what that generational trauma is. It literally just trauma going back through the generation. And that's what I love about our generation, because everybody's going to stop it because we've realized this. We've actually come to terms with it. We're like we're open enough to say, yeah, this is literally, you're just giving us all your trauma. And that's why a lot of us are like traumatized, or people are really like depressed, or have a lot of problems, because a lot of it comes from like parents and like your families. So that's why I'm really happy that our generation is going to stop this trauma, because it's like there's no need to be putting all this like trauma and abuse onto your like kids just because you went through it. Like that's not fair to them. They're literally a fresh slate. Like they had nothing to do with it. That's your own parents' fault, you know? And I know sometimes you can't help it, or you're not realizing you're doing, but it's still your responsibility to actually like stop it and not just be like doing it just because it happened to you. That's not an excuse to like do it to like the kids, you know? Yeah, so that's like what I really hate. And that's why I think not everybody deserves to be parents, because that's when you get people who are like very abusive, or like they're just like physically and emotionally and like whatever it is. And it's like so not fair to the kids, because then they're going to grow up and have to deal with all that trauma and abuse. And then they might pass it on to their kids, or they'll pass it on to like anyone in their life. And that's so unfair. It's literally just trauma being passed around for no reason. Like it could have been stopped, you know? And it's not fair because it's not like they did anything to like deserve it. It's literally the parents not being responsible. And that's just what pisses me off. Do you have anything to say before I continue?
Yeah, so how do you think our generation's going to end it?
Well, I think we're already kind of, because we're just, like we've already analyzed it. We've already like made it a thing. Like we've recognized it. And I think a lot of us who want to have kids actually won't. Like they'll know to like treat them right, and they won't want to put their trauma on it. Like I said in the beginning, that's why I want to like do it the right way. Like I want to treat them and raise them the right way, you know?
Because I know there's like these TikTokers or YouTubers that in the camera, they would be like, oh, I'm so good with my kids. But behind the scenes, it'd be like, oh, he was being a bad kid. I didn't feed him for a week.
Oh, yeah. Those like family, like YouTubers. Yeah, those ones are always so suspicious. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. That's like them putting on like a face. That they're like putting on like a act just because they're like famous. But yeah, I really hope people don't do that, because that one's even worse, because like you never know what's actually happening. But yeah, and I always like to use this analogy, and I'm very proud of myself for making it up, even though it's not that amazing. I always say like, especially when you're like a child and through your childhood, like those are the most important years. And I'm pretty sure that's actually scientific. Like scientists say that, like those are like, because you're developing. So like, I imagine like, just imagine yourself as like clay or like Play-Doh, and anything that happens to you, it like molds you and it stays there. So as you're developing, everything that's happening to you, it's like molding you and shaping you into who you are. So if you're always getting like that trauma and abuse, obviously you're going to like grow up to have so much trauma and problems that's going to affect you and people in your life. And that's why it's so unfair for parents to be like so abusive and like dumping all their trauma on them, because it's literally like you're affecting a whole person's life. Like that's so unfair and like fucked up, you know? I just like hate it. And like that also goes back to the whole like, that's why I said like some parents don't deserve it, because I think people who deserve to be parents are if you truly want them and if you're truly like prepared for it. Because like you can't just have kids just because you want to, or because you think it's fun, or like someone made you do, or like your parents really want you to or something.
That's another thing. probably like our parents, they're like old school still.
Yeah.
So probably like they're...
Sorry, guys.
Read it. That brings us to another point. Like our parents, they might be old school.
Yeah.
So probably their parents would be like, you have to have kids at this age.
Yeah.
So they're like, in their mind, they're like, it doesn't matter whatever. If I'm prepared or not, I have to have kids in order to be that family, a perfect marriage, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's actually so true. That's such a good point. Yeah, I feel like that's another issue. It comes from like tradition and like your culture, and especially with like brown people, like they're very family oriented. Yeah, so I feel like they're always like pushing you. Even like our parents are now, like, it's people always like make fun of it. They're always like, oh, my mom's always yapping about like when I'm gonna have kids, and it's like at the Thanksgiving dinner, they're like, so when are you gonna have kids? And I just found that so annoying. But yeah, that's actually such a true point you came up with, because I feel like that also pushes people to be like, oh, whatever, I have to have kids because my parents are going to be disappointed in me, or they're going to hate me, or like they keep bugging me about it. So sometimes they feel like they're like almost inclined or obligated to, even if they're not ready, which that obviously is not completely their fault, but they should be aware and be able to be like, no, like I'm not ready, mom or dad or grandpa or grandma or whatever it is. But also that is primarily the like guardian's fault for doing that,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a very good point, Alex. But yeah, or babes. I feel like we should say our names sometimes. But yeah, so yeah, not everyone deserves to be a parent. Literally be a parent if you want to, and if you're ready, and if you think it's a good time for you.
Yeah.
And I think, again, so we're going to circle back to trigger warning, talking about abortion. That's also a whole other thing why, that's a whole argument, because like for abortion, obviously people are like, oh, you're like killing the baby or whatever. But I'm like, I think people who are, because I know it's like you're either you're pro you're pro-abortion or pro-choice or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's obviously you say like, oh, I think people should have a choice, or no, you should just like have the kid. But obviously there's always so many cases, like literally assault. That's like the biggest one. Like that's literally not their fault. And a lot of people I feel like who get assaulted and they're forced to have it, that also causes them to become bad parents because they weren't ready. And that one is actually not their fault because they were literally assaulted. Maybe they weren't able to have like an abortion or something. And that one is completely not their fault. And I feel like people who are like, okay, this might be controversial for people who are pro-abortion, but I honestly think you guys are pro-birth, not pro-abortion, because you guys just care about, and I'm saying you guys because I'm pro-choice personally. So people who are on that other side, I think they just want people to have the abortion, they just want people to give birth because they don't want them to kill like a child or a baby, which is understandable. But the thing is, once the child is out, they don't care what happens to it. And that's literally so evident. Sorry? Yeah.
Oh, and also, it's not as easy just giving birth.
Yeah.
Literally, the mother could die or the baby could die
or both. Yeah. And it's so costly and so much complications to that. And also, that's so evident that people like that, the pro-abortion people, they don't care about the child after. It's so evident because that's why we have adoption and foster care. Because people literally just dump their child there. And obviously, I know people have other reasons for that, but I'm just talking about people who like were forced to give birth and not have an abortion.
Yeah.
They usually end up like they usually just what is the word? Abandon the kid or literally just dump them in like a adoption or foster care, which I know is not always the best. Like
like for adoption, I'm not sure about adoption like agencies.
Yeah.
I think those are more like professional, but foster homes, I know a lot of people that have been in foster homes and they're literally the worst.
Yeah, because it's like you're putting so much children in one place. Like that is not good for how they're like raised and like grown up. And it's so unfair for the child. Like, doesn't the child deserve a good life?
No, what? This is a thing also. Foster care people, like the people that like look over them.
Yeah.
They usually just collect the money for themselves. And they spend very little to the kids.
And usually they don't even take care of them because there's too much.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard a lot of bad things about like adoption places and like all that. And I'm pretty sure like, are those even funded by the government or aren't they private?
I think they're funded by the government. But
but I feel like nobody gives them enough like attention or care. Like, I feel like nobody actually cares to like make them better.
That's what I mean. it's up to the person, like the guardian.
Yeah, and usually they don't care and they just want the money. Like so that's what I'm saying. I feel like those people are honestly just pro-birth, because if you actually cared about the child, you would care to make those places better. You would care to help the mother and help the child and find them a good place and give them money for a home and good life.
That's another thing when I see the people protesting. It's like, okay, let's say this person wants an abortion and they have the baby. Are you going to take care of them?
Yeah. Like,
no, you're just standing with a sign saying, oh, no abortion.
Yeah, it's like you're waiting for them like at the hospital.
Even give a dime to the person.
It's like you're waiting at the hospital. Oh, they have the kid and they're like, okay, on to the next one. Like, it's like, okay, and I don't mean to, like, I hope we're not offending anyone if you guys are pro-abortion. Like, I understand. Obviously, nobody wants to kill a child or a baby. Like, nobody wants to be a murderer, like, unless you're actually like crazy. Mm-hmm. But like, we're saying pro-choice because it should be just the choice of the person, because you never know people's situation.
Yeah. And also, like, if you care about a lot about kids, there's like millions of other kids around the world that are like dying just by like war or like hunger.
That's
or
another
whatever.
Point that I've seen so much. Like, why do you guys care about the kids that are not even born yet? Why don't you care about the kids that are literally suffering in all these places, being innocent kids being killed by like wars and like starving to death and all this,
like
and being in like abusive like homes and like shelters and
what is the other one called? Trafficking.
Yeah.
Also
child trafficking. Yeah. All of those are such big problems, but you guys don't care about that because you just care. You know the real issue is because people like to control women and what they do with their own body, even though it's literally their own body. Like, why do you care so much? Yeah. Literally focus on the people alive now. All the children suffering all over the world. And there's so much organizations and donation place and like UNICEF and like so many things that need like donations and people's help to actually make them better. But nobody cares. People are just posting on their story and then they go off to the protests. Like,
yeah. And also like another fix would be making like, another thing would also be making like, another thing is making birth control pills or like something more available and more easy to get.
More accessible.
Yeah. It shouldn't be looked at like something negative.
Yeah, because if you stopped it from like the start, then none of that would, all those arguments wouldn't even have to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like it just annoys me because people don't realize, like, I feel like people's underlying like intention for their like beliefs or opinion, it's not always what it seems. Because you guys like, it's like they're being hypocrites. Like if you truly wanted, if you truly like cared for the child, you would actually be doing stuff now.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't only be caring about some random woman in a small town who wants to have an abortion. Like,
yeah.
Like honestly, that's why I'm like, at the end of the day, it should be just their own choice, because then that leads to bad parents, abusive parents, abandoning their child.
Yeah. And also it creates a lot of like mental health for the women too. Because when you're growing a baby, you get connected to it. And when you have it, imagine like the thought of like just leaving something that you've raised inside of you.
Yeah, like there's so many more other problems. It causes so much for the woman. They're stressful just going through the pregnancy, the birth, and then they have to figure out how to take care of a literal human being who they're not ready for, if they were like assaulted or if they were forced to have it, or if they didn't have access to like abortion clinic, which is why it's so important to have access to those and the pills and birth control pills too.
And also like parents that aren't ready, like we were talking earlier, where do those kids go to? They end up in the streets. So what you see homeless people.
Which just furthers more the problem of innocent children always like being in such extreme, horrible like environments.
Yeah.
Like, do you guys not care about that? Like, it's so unfair to the child. Like, that's still a literal child. Like, that's a human being. Like, they deserve a good, like, right, like, justful life that they should live. Like, it's just, people just don't think about others. People don't think about the big picture. They're not considerate of everyone in the situation.
Yeah, and let's say, like, in a religious point.
Yeah.
Let's say the baby gets an abortion, right?
Yeah.
They're probably going to get like born somewhere else.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because a lot of religions believe in the reincarnation. Yeah, so you never know what actually happens to it.
And I know worse, like being born somewhere else, like again, or having to live
in a horrible
situations.
Yeah, literally.
Not knowing your parent or anything, or
yeah, and that obviously depends on how people's like beliefs and all that. Yeah, and I know also like I know the whole argument is also like the okay, I'm not very like educated on this part, but like the embryo or whatever, people are like, oh, it's just like a bunch of cells or whatever, and then people are like, oh, but you're a bunch of cells, like blah blah blah. I know that's the whole like argument too, but like we're just talking about like the bigger picture. And again, we're sorry if we offended anyone. We're not trying to like force our beliefs or opinions on anyone. We're literally just saying our own opinion and how we view it. And I'm just telling you, especially me, because obviously I have a uterus. I'm just telling you how I see it. And obviously you might not agree with me, but I just think it's very hypocritical of people. And I think their real intention is not being shown. And that's what makes me really angry.
Yeah. And also another point is if the guy and the girl, they both had like a accident.
Yeah.
It's not up to the guy's choice.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, but like it's good to talk about it between each other. But at the end of the day, it's up to the girl's choice to do it.
Yeah, that's another whole thing. And because our society is so patriarchy and for the men, everyone's like, oh, but the men should have a say and blah, 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 and they should decide. But it's like, no, it's not literally, it's not their body, it's the woman. But yeah, obviously they should talk about it. And depending on their relationship, they might be able to. But like, yeah, ultimately it's the woman's choice. And that's why we're saying people who don't have a uterus shouldn't have an opinion on it. Because it literally doesn't affect you like as it affects the like woman or the person with uterus. But yeah, I just, and then again, like I'm saying, like those are the two things I believe. I think the people who are pro-abortion, they're actually just pro-birth because they don't care. Like in most cases, I'm pretty sure they don't care about the child after because they're not doing anything to help the child after or the children now. And I think another thing is, God, I lost my train of thought again. So it happens when I get too heated and passionate about something because I'm literally sweating.
It's okay.
What was I going to say? My other point. Oh yeah, my other point is it's not even about like having the abortion or not. It's literally just about, especially men or people in power, they just want to be able to control women. They want to control their bodies. It's literally so evident in the past. Like it's always about controlling women and what they can do. And it's so fucked up. It's literally their own body. Like it should be their own choice. Like I feel like that'd be common sense. Even though it's not apparently to all these people. I'm like, why do you care? That's what I'm just saying. It's like, literally just stick to your own body. Probably needs a lot of taking care of because you probably stink and you don't shower and wash your ass.
If they want control, they should just like snip it, you know?
Yeah, you guys can. Yeah, that's another point. Literally stop it at the source. That's why a lot of men should get vasectomies because you can literally prevent all of this.
Yeah. Like, they don't want to go through the pain.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, the options is make birth control more accessible and less stigmatized. Men should get more vasectomies and they should be more available too. And abortion clinics should be more available too. So people can actually like do it and not become like neglectful, abusive parents.
They probably should do it like the more sooner it is, the better, I guess.
Yeah. It's just like, I wish it was just more accepted and less stigmatized. And it makes me so sad because of like, I know this happened, I don't know, very recently, but sorry guys, I forget the exact date, but the Roe v. Wade like law was overturned. It was like a big thing. I think it was like a law protecting people so they could have abortions and it was overturned. So basically now a bunch of like, I'm pretty sure, especially states in like the US, they're like banning it, which is so bad. And now people have to like move, like drive to other states to like just have an abortion. And it's like there's always protesters outside the clinics. And I'm like, and I know it's like doctors also, if they like perform an abortion, they can like get like fined or put in prison or like they can have their like degree taken away, which I'm like, that's so fucked up. Like, and then that leads to people having to do it by themselves, which is so dangerous. And then that can cause so much problems for them. They could possibly die or have like an infection or something.
Yeah, it's just...
like, it's so fucked up. And I feel like it's such a bigger issue than just, oh, you're killing a child. Like...
yeah, there's like millions of other kids getting killed daily.
Yeah, and there's so much more things to think about that it affects so much more people than just possibly murdering a like a person who's not even born yet. And I know that's a whole other debate because people debate on when it's actually like a person.
But like I said, like the earliest memory I have is like when I was 5.
Yeah, it's not like they're going to remember it. They're literally an embryo and cells and whatever it is. Sorry, guys, I don't know the scientific thing. But yeah, guys, that's just our opinions. And I'm really sorry if anyone's offended or upset. That was not our intention. We just want to tell you our point of view. We want to educate people who don't know about these issues at all and just see if what you guys think too.
And on the lighter notes,
yes,
if you're eating eggs every day, you're basically killing a baby that's born from a chicken.
Real. Yeah, we literally eat dead animals.
Yeah.
Unless you're vegan and vegetarian and
Yeah, I feel bad.
Unless you don't
I
eat
did it
meat.
for years and it was horrible.
Yeah, honestly, props to you. I love meat. I'm sorry. I really do. I don't know how people can do it.
Yeah.
It really takes, like, it's hard. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little note. We literally kill animals. Are animals not worth living either? Yeah, but yeah, anyways, guys. Yeah, parenting is hard. Kids are hard, but kids are also awesome and they're so cute and they're adorable.
Yeah.
And it's fun to play with them and take care of them, but return them at the end of the day, as they say. Like, here's your kid back. Like, if you're like babysitting or it's like your cousin. Yeah. That's what people say who like don't have kids or don't want them. But yeah. Any more points you want to add?
If you're going to be a parent, be the best you can.
Yes.
Don't put any trauma onto them.
Yes,
or make
please
their life
don't
hard.
do that.
Yeah, just be loving and caring.
Yeah, literally just love and care for them and treat them how they should be and literally just give them the best life because they literally deserve that.
Yeah.
And please try to work through your own trauma or just stop it and not pass it on to anyone.
Exactly.
Yes. And I hope if anyone is in a really tough situation with all like having a kid, I really hope it works out. Mm-hmm. And I hope you're able to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because everyone should always have their own choice of their own body.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, I think that's a good note to end it off on. And yeah, again, I hope no one is too triggered or offended or anything by this. But yeah. Do you want to add anything else?
No, I think that's everything.
Yeah, I think that's everything, guys. So again, thanks so much for listening. And again, follow us on everywhere you listen to podcasts.
Give us a thumbs up. Give us the like.
Yes, 5-star review.
Comment anything you want to say or us want to talk about or any questions.
Yes, give us any topic suggestions and give any critiques and suggestions to improve the podcast. And we also would love to hear your own opinions and takes on all of this, like having kids and parenting and all that. Yeah, so just drop that down all in the comments. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.